Let's see what we got here. Empower. Let's go. Today we're going to be looking at setting up Hermes automation blueprints. So I just dropped from Hermes today. I want to see if we can use this with Hermes agent. Also looking at building a translation app using the new update from Google. And then we're going to do some SEO as well. So we've got all these things being set up at the same time, which is fun. Get those 10K. I'm going in for 20, 30K today. 30,000 steps. Let's see how it goes. Good to see you here. Typing whilst walking is easy if you've got a stand-up desk. No problem. Today, building out, like I just mentioned, all those things. It's go time. Absolutely. Right now, just doing some coding with Claude Code. So we're gonna sync Google Search Console to Claude Code, so it can do SEO for us. Then we're building out a translation app, which is pretty cool. Using this new setup. And then also we've got automation blueprints here as well. We'll come on to those in a sec. Kevin, what makes you think we have an audio problem, mate? Yeah, that's it. So the agent can see and get access to our Google Search Console, and then it can pull in the analytics from there. So we're setting up like a SEO agent for this. Yeah, exactly. So I use Suno for that. I'll show you the process actually. So basically, this is pretty cool. I learned this the other day. So what you can do is, and we're on the pro plan on Suno. So, for example, we can go to Claude, give it ideas of like the style that we want. Then Claude Fable 5 can come up with the ideas and the prompts. And then from there, what I do is I test all of those prompts inside Suno and just see which ones are the best. And once you've done that, then you can add them here. And we've got like loads of different options here, so we can sort of switch between them. But I actually quite like it. It's pretty cool. I think what you could do as well, this could be an awesome idea, is like you can actually get the API plus set it up with Suno. I might add that as, inside there. That would be a pretty cool idea. In fact, let's try that in a minute. Let's see how many steps we got. Do we need to keep going? 7,600. It's 8 a.m. We're getting there. Not bad for the step count. All right, so let's see what we got here. See if we're gonna add this. So much to build today. It's getting crazy. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Yes and no. Yes and no. So I have like a team that helps me, and then for a lot of the content, yes, it helps us a lot. So I'll give you an example. So you've probably seen them, for example, on X and everywhere else. Like we use these workflows for social media. So for example, we've got this Twitter automation here. We have automations for shorts, AI avatar stuff. So these are the automations that we use. But you want someone to like handle that manually as well and just quality control it. So we have a mix of both. I think that's the best way. And also inside the agent OS, we have this video agent that can generate stuff for us as well. Right. So here's an example. It can generate like pretty nice stuff. All right, now we've got it going. Look at that. So we can see the progress, the growth, where we're up to. That's really cool. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, you know, whether it's AI or not, right? The main thing that you want is like, you know, some sort of powerful system for creating good quality stuff. And so if you're giving value, you're helping people, then, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's AI or not. Welcome, mate. Welcome. I'm getting that more and more now. More and more so, like more and more people are telling me that. So I think that's good. I mean, from what I've seen recently on the feedback, like people saying this is very realistic and it's very useful. And also the videos are much better. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. And bear in mind, like this is the worst it's ever going to be. You know, give it a year, give it 2 years. What's it going to be like, right? Crazy. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, that's crazy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's taken a lot of work to get that process in place. Wow. But now we've refined it and it just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, we're improving all the time, which is awesome. All right, let's get this Hermes music agent set up as well. Suno API. Oh. There we go. Suno API. I want you to create a Hermes agent for music next to the video agent where we can create music using Suno API, and you can describe the style you want and then it generates it, and you can preview it, you can see the history, you can save stuff, and you can listen to it too. Back in a sec. Let's see where we're up to. So you got that getting set up now. That's working nicely. So we're setting up N2 Pro with Hermes over here. We have the Hermes music agent being created with Suno. We've got the SEO agent set up so that it can do keyword research, look at where we're performing, and then give us ideas on what content we can create in a second as well. From here, this is for another website that I'm working on. And then this should be set up now. Can you do a test run and then save it inside the workspace, inside automation blueprints folder, so that we can easily see it? And also, could you tweak it slightly so it looks oh wow, oh that's cool. So it's writing directly into the agent OS. Let's have a look here. So basically what we're doing here is we're getting a Hermes automation blueprint. We've set up the one for AI automation news, and then it should be saved automatically into our Obsidian memory galaxy. If we go over here, boom, that is absolute fantastic. Nice. All right, cool. So what we want to do now, so we got that ready to go. We'll set that up. This is looking good. This is looking good. That's looking pretty decent. Let's have a look at this one. Hey, how's it going? Wow. This is amazing. Can we set up two ways so we can have a conversation too, and you can switch between those two different options? Yeah, that's it. We really want to build something. I mean, this is something I was actually looking for. I went to Japan recently. I wanted something where I could learn a language really quickly. And I think with this new Gemini 3.5 translate option, you're absolutely, you're crushing it. Also like to set up a system where we can learn from it as well, like it can go back and forth with us and we can talk. I don't know if that works, but that would be pretty amazing. Yeah, me too. It's always good I mean, this type of music particular I like just to listen to. It's just great to stay motivated but not distracted at the same time. You kind of just go into full grind mode. Oh, nice. Absolutely love Tokyo. It's like Honestly, Japan is the most fascinating country I've ever been to. Love the place. Really interesting, really fun. A lot of great culture there. Amazing food. Honestly, like I try to go back at least once a year. I've already been twice this year. All right. So now we got this one set up. This one. This is good to go. Claude code is good to go. These two are getting done. This one I might put on the maybe list for later. Let's have a look now, see what we got. Ah, it's looking beautiful. Wow. So the whole thing has to be focused on the Hermes automation blueprint update, and then you can explain what we did and the whole story behind it. But you want to make sure you link to that and also keep that as a focus. So you could call this, for example, like the Hermes automation engine. The showcase you created was awesome though. Keep that in. Big Aussie and living in the big city. There we go. Tokyo is a big city indeed. Chad, good to see you again too, sir. Thanks for joining. If it's going to take 40 seconds to reply, don't add in. Can you create a guide on this now? Like the full workflow, how we use this keyword research agent with Claude, and then also how we create the SEO content inside the agent OS, so like as a full showcase. Nice, look at that. We have the Hermes music agent set up, ready to go. We can switch between them. We can see what we've created. Awesome, create a guide on this. We've got the N2 test back as well. Let's see what we got here. Awesome, one's done as well, create some guides on it. 2 separate guides, one for Hermes, one for free Claude code. Thanks so much, Rando. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yes, it's amazing stuff. Oh, that's cool. That did well. That did well. Let's see what we got on that. I think the video created though, it doesn't really showcase what's been done in terms of the whole workflow. It just shows the page that we're already on. So I think you need to showcase better the actual process and the workflow and explain that inside the video, not just a guide of the page. It's the real me. It is the real me, don't worry. All right. Thank you. I good to see you here. You know, I do these every day, right? I'm on every day. Don't worry. So today we're going to answer some of the most interesting questions about Hermes agent and the agent OS and how to use it, etc. And what are some of the best ways to get out of it. And this is based on some community questions we get inside the AI Profit Boardroom, because I know if people have these questions, then a lot of people who watch these tutorials will have these questions too. So let's just get straight into it. So the first question is from Jason, which is, how do I get my Obsidian to look like the memory galaxy inside the mission control? So this is something we actually updated recently, and you can see it right here. Basically, what this is a new feature inside the Agent OS system, where we can basically see a galaxy of our memories plugged in together, right? And so the stars that shine the brightest are the most recent memories. Now, this is really powerful because you can see visually what your Obsidian looks like from the perspective of your agents. You can click on any of these and actually see the memories, and it just kind of interlinks everything together in a beautiful sort of visual way. And it just looks cool and fun to look at, right? So, how do you set this up? So, the way that I did it, there's two ways. So there's two ways here. Number one, you could ask Claude to just build this memory galaxy for you and give it some ideas. But what we've actually done recently is build this inside the Agent OS, inside the latest version. And you can get the latest version here. And we update it daily with new updates. Now, one thing I'm just going to double check with the agent that built it. Are there instructions inside here for the memory galaxy as well for Obsidian? Just double checking it gets built out when people install this. So what we actually have here is the full markdown file on how to set it up. And we'll add that inside the memory galaxy section as well. And so we've added that inside the agent OS. Now, for anyone watching, you might be wondering, okay, what memory system do we use here? So we actually use Obsidian. Obsidian is a free app that you can download and use locally. What it does, these are all basically markdown files and folders that organize all of our memories and all the people that we work with, all the brands, etc. Right? And everything is color coded and it all revolves around me, right? And so this is kind of like a universe of memories and ideas and everything that we've done recently. Our AI agents create the markdown files and update them and also read them, and then that gets plugged into a memory galaxy, like you can see. I've got a question here, which is, do you have a tutorial to build this agent? Yes, number one, I did build it with Claude. So we've actually got a Claude desktop that builds it in the background. And then if you want the full setup, it's inside the classroom. Just go to the agent OS section inside the AI Profit Board. Link in the comments description if you want to get that. So this is a great question as well from David. And David, by the way, I answer these questions really fast. Like David only asked this 46 minutes ago. And he was asking, you know, Paperclip and Hermes Kanban, can they be used together? So if you were using Paperclip before Hermes, and then Hermes added Kanban, but now it's native with Hermes, does it make sense to have Paperclip and Kanban both assigning tasks? So here's the way that I would look at it. So number one, Hermes with Kanban is just designed for Hermes. So it's great if you're just coordinating teams of Hermes agents. Now, it's not as visual as Paperclip, and you can't have an org chart like Paperclip, but if you just have separate profiles working as a team together with Hermes, then you only need the Kanban. So, for example, here, you can see that inside this Kanban board, we have one for AI Profit Boardroom SEO. We can assign a task, it gets triaged, and then inside the done list, you can see all the stuff that was done by different AI agents, different profiles. So, for example, here you've got the SEO writer. If we go over here, we've got the SEO link builder. Right? And so it's a team of Hermes agents working together on a separate Kanban board, and then we can assign tasks, and those tasks get done across here. And so, really powerful system. Now, I would use Paperclip if you prefer to have an organization of agents, and also if you prefer like an org chart and a more professional dashboard that's more complex than Hermes Kanban. Also, if you have Claude and Hermes and OpenClaw all working together, being orchestrated, then it's better to use Paperclip. So, for example, if we look at our org chart here, you can't build this in Hermes Kanban. Maybe it'll come one day, but I do feel like they probably won't do that because they like to simplify stuff. And then you can track everything, right? How many tokens you've used, your dashboard, your org chart, what's been done, what's currently active, any sort of issues, and what you've actually built with it. We've set that up inside the Agent OS system so that we can preview and see all the stuff that we've created with it. So I would say Paperclip is a lot more complex. If you want something complex, go with that. This is pretty cool. So John was sharing how he's inspired by the group. He's basically used Claude to build out some cool games. Like you can see here with Claude Fable 5. So it's super inspiring to see you build stuff like this. Well done, John. So this is pretty interesting as well, right? If you're building out an agent operating system, which I recommend you do just to get the most out of your AI agents, right? You can see here that Benjamin, he created an oracle, right? Like a sort of way of using a Tolkien theme inside his agent OS. So basically, what it can do here is it can learn from major philosophical works of numerous philosophers, and it links into his Obsidian database, and then it will continuously learn and store conversations, and also it can reply with an 11 Labs voice. We've kind of built out something similar with Hermes Jarvis, right? So if you go over here, Hermes Jarvis, you can see that we can speak to Hermes Jarvis, we can voice command it, and we can get stuff done with it. So, you know, voice assistants, I think they become way more powerful and way more useful inside a system like this because you can interact back and forth with them. You can navigate them. You can organize them exactly what you want, right? So, for example, if you look at Benjamin, if he really likes using voice agents and he likes philosophy, he can merge the two together. And I think that's a fantastic way to showcase what you can do on a personal level with a dashboard like this. So, congrats. And also, it's amazing to see you linking the power of 11 Labs with one of your hobbies, right? If you're interested in, for example, philosophy, and then you create a voice agent together, that's a really, really creative way of using it. So I hope this serves as inspiration as well to see what's possible when you're using Hermes Agent and when you're creating now agent operating systems and that sort of thing. So here's another question from David. He says, can the Hermes profile agents chat with each other? And so, for example, there was a new update recently with Hermes Agent where you can have multiple different profiles and you can manage them easily inside your dashboard. So you can see an example here. So if we go to the profile section, we have like a game developer, we have Hermes Jarvis, we have an SEO keyword agent profile. We created one for N2, which is a free API that just came out recently. So that just gives you an idea of what you can do and how you can use it. So I think what you could do is you could actually add them inside the group chat, and you can ask Claude to add them inside the group chat of your agent OS. Or the other option is that you could add them all inside a Telegram group as different profiles and organize them that way. So we have a AI agent mastermind here where we've got Hermes, but we could actually decide if we want to add multiple different Hermes profiles inside that chat so they can talk and organize with each other too, which is a really cool idea. We've actually got a tutorial on this over here, so I'm just going to share that. But yeah, two different options there. So you could have a Telegram group chat or a WhatsApp group chat between your agents, or inside your agent operating system, you could have them going back and forth inside a AI agent operating system like that. This is a great question. So if you're using, for example, Obsidian as a memory vault for your AI agents, you can see here that Leon is asking about how to move from OneNote over to Obsidian. So number one is he's got Hermes set up on a VPS, but he wants to use the Obsidian Vault. And question number two is for his personal notes, is the best option to sync them up or set them up locally and that sort of thing. So here's how I would do it. Number one, for using Obsidian on a VPS, you can use an MCP. So you can actually set up an MCP and link Hermes with that MCP bridge between Obsidian. There's a lot of them on GitHub that you can use that are open source. For actually exporting your notes from OneNote to Obsidian, I would actually ask, for example, one of your AI agents like Claude or Hermes to take those notes and then plug them into Obsidian and organize them better. That's the way that I would approach it, first of all. And then for your Obsidian notes, is it best to sync it up locally? I prefer to do that. So I have them stored locally inside my app, and then I go from there. And I think that's the best way to do it, because if you've got them stored locally, then you can always sync them up to another device using the MCP. This is a great question. So Jamal was asking, does anyone know how to use AI agents with Go high level? So Go high level actually have a system inside there, which is, if anyone's not aware, Go high level is a CRM. So you can use the AI agent features inside Go high level directly to start using them. If you don't want to build them directly inside high level, then you can actually ask Claude with your Go high level API to start building them out from there. So you got two good options for that. This is another great question from David. So he was asking, like, if you had multiple SEO clients inside Hermes, you didn't want to get client data conflated. The way that I would approach that, I would organize separate clients into separate folders inside your Obsidian. And that way, your agents can pull the data for one client inside a separate folder so it doesn't get mixed up with other clients. And then you can have a separate Kanban board for each client. So, for example, we've got a Kanban board for the AI Profit Boardroom. We have one for the game studio. And so we can switch between these different Kanban boards here, which makes it easier to manage teams. So you can set up separate Kanban boards and then switch between them depending on the team and the agents you want working on each one. That way you avoid things getting complicated or conflated. This is pretty cool as well. So Josio was saying he made a few modifications on his own agent OS based on our setup. So what he did is he took the system that we gave him, and then he added a toggle at the end of the left bar for light and dark themes. So you can actually switch between them. It's pretty nice. Like you can switch between light and dark mode right there. Love that idea. And then also an option at the bottom where you can just scroll automatically to the top, which is another good idea as well. Another question we got was like how to get the most out of memory bases when you've got a second brain, so it isn't actually giving bad responses. So That really, I would say, like, you want to train your agents to learn how to respond to you properly and organize your notes. So, one thing that we edit, for example, inside our Hermes agents is the setup for the files, right? So, for each Hermes agent profile, you can actually change the sole MD file. And you can do this in OpenClaw too, so that when you're getting it to respond to you, you can edit the sole MD inside your manage section and just make it respond better. So for example, if it's like, too biased towards liking your ideas, then you can change the sole MD to say like critique or be critical about my ideas so that you don't just listen to everything I do, right? And that way, when you are using AI agents with Obsidian or just in general, you can make them a lot more neutral in the way they respond. So that's it. We've covered how to use Obsidian, how to customize an agent OS, the best skills you can use, how to set up agent profiles, how to use Hermes Kanban inside Agent OS, and how to build a great agent operating system that helps you navigate and get the most out of your Hermes agents. Now, if you want the full system from me, you can build your own, but if you want the full system, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And if you go to the Agent OS system section here, you can see that we just updated it today. You've got a video tutorial on how to set it up. We have a full installation guide, and then we have the resources with the zip file to install as well. And every single time there's something new and interesting that's actually useful that comes out, we'll create a video tutorial and a step-by-step guide right here. Inside the community, you can ask questions to get help and support, just like we did today. So, for example, if someone asks a question, I'll personally answer it, and so will the rest of the community. There's always people online. You can see, for example, there's 102 people online right now. So there's always people online you can learn from and ask questions with. Inside the classroom, you can get all of our best trainings, including the Agent OS system. You also get 4 weekly coaching calls where you get help and support in real time, which is super useful. And then there's actually a map where you can meet people in your local city and area who are using AI agents just like you. So this is a great place to learn and a great place to connect with people as well. And it's just a positive community of people winning, learning, and growing. I mean, you can see all the testimonials here. We have over 181 pages of testimonials and people winning with AI automation. So I know if like everyone inside here is getting amazing results, you can too, even if you've never used AI. So don't let anything stop you. It's awesome to use this stuff and it's a great time to be building with it as well. Bear in mind, like we're all super early to this as well, which is, it's a great time to move. So hope to see you inside there and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye. If you're watching, by the way, I'm not going. It's just, I was just making that one and then we'll move on to the next tutorial. How long did it take you to plan out and build your agent operating system? So, I mean, the first draft I created probably in the morning. It wasn't that long, but I think ever since I've probably put in hundreds of hours to improve it. So it was super basic when I first built it and it didn't look great. And now it's better than ever. And, it's just something you improve daily. And the cool thing about it is like, it doesn't matter what comes out, doesn't matter what agents come out, doesn't matter what APIs come out, you can plug it in. No, not over. That was just me recording a tutorial before. So when we get the agent OS, can we adapt it? Absolutely. And then when you update the things, yeah. So it's built to easily update the agent OS, and it's only for AI Profit Boarding members. And then, yeah, you can update it, you can add your own customizations to it. So it's a really powerful way to just get the most out of it. So you can see before, for example, one of our members actually added like light and dark mode and then automatic scroll up option as well on his. So you can customize it and build it however you want. That's the beautiful thing about it. Insane breakthroughs all the time, every day. The chat on these videos is so funny. All right, back in a sec, peeps. Back in a sec. Give me 2 minutes. back in the game. The countdown is on. It won't stop working, but you just won't get the updates. And the updates are really the best thing about it, because it just keeps getting better every day, you know. As you've probably seen today, like I've literally spent 2.5 hours improving it today already. And we're right at the start of the day, so you know there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we just make it better and better and better and better. And also you get the support inside the community, and you can see what other people are able to do. Thank you. These guides, what I do is I add them to this website here, like you can see, and then for like the really useful stuff, you know, that's super actionable, we add it inside the AR Profit Boardroom in like a better organized guide. Hermes Agent have a brand new automations blueprint setup that means you can turn scheduled tasks into clickable, fillable conversational workflows in like one single click. So this is a new automation blueprints update for Hermes Agent that's just dropped a few hours ago, as you can see. And essentially what this means is there are separate templates that you can build directly with Hermes Agent. So we actually tested out one today, set it up in like one single click. You can see it over here. And you can also organize them with different agents. And basically, what this means essentially is with automation blueprints, a scheduled task becomes a workflow that anyone can build, which is pretty amazing in itself. So, for example, we could say, okay, Monday, 9 a.m., Hermes is going to create this, and then it's using the automation templates, which you've got on this section, and they're super easy to set up. So, I'll show you an example of what we actually did today using what I call the Hermes automation engine. So, you can set up an engine and an agent that works for you 24/7, even whilst you're not online. And so, for example, what we've got here is a setup where we can take a scheduled task, like you can see, and then plug it into our AI agents. And so, for example, there's all sorts of development workflows you can get with this. So we've got a trigger for a scheduled nightly, and then you see the setup. You can literally just copy and paste this into your Hermes agent and then set up the workflow. And anything that needs to configure, for example, like an API, it'll just quickly come back to you. So the one that we actually set up, which I think is actually probably the most useful, was the research and intelligence workflow. And there's two down here. So there's one where you can actually monitor your competitors, and the other one is the AI News Digest. So that's something that I do every single day. And so what it does essentially is we copy this text and we can use this blueprint and then we plug it into Hermes agent. So if we go into Hermes agent here, you can see inside the chat, we can plug this into any of our different profiles, which is pretty amazing in itself. And then if we go into, for example, the manage section here and we check the scheduled tasks that we've created, you can see here that we have that weekly AI digest, the one that comes from the Hermes blueprint templates. So the benefits of this is that it saves you time. It's easy to get custom made templates. You can easily organize it and set it up. And then also, if you want to customize it, you can tweak and change it just by going back and forth with Hermes inside the chat. You can also edit it, quickly delete it. You can pause it if you want to. If you don't pause it, then it will run at the set time. So for example, this is running at weekly on Monday. And so the cool thing about this is you don't need to create the templates yourself. These are just run in the background and they turn just like raw scheduled tasks into something that you can quickly schedule. So how does it work? Well, basically automation blueprints before, an automation in Hermes meant you have to like add it yourself, set up the triggers, or think about which APIs you need, and sometimes it wouldn't work properly. Now what you have is just a copy and paste setup where you can copy and paste the blueprint into Hermes agent and go from there. Now you might say, cron jobs, they sound technical. Actually, no, because you don't even need to do this, right? You don't write any syntax or code for this. You just give the recipe from the automation blueprint section on the setup here, as you can see, and then plug those into Hermes agent and they're ready to go and they're set up. And I'll show you an example of what that actually came out as. But basically, here's a whole pipeline. So essentially, you got blueprints, then we turned it into a weekly digest, which you can see here is a markdown file. And this is something that the agent writes for us directly into our Obsidian vault. So the cool thing about this is it's going to take the schedule note and then it plugs it into our memory system so that it can retrieve those notes and help us come up with, for example, like social media content ideas or different things that we could build each week. So you can see this is the full research report, and it's actually pulled in the latest news. So for example, Claude Fable 5, Mythos 5, they just came out and it's already given us the link and found the research. How did it do that? Because it got the notes from the automation blueprint from news research, and then we could quickly plug it in, which is pretty cool. And also, if you need to adapt it, like for us, for example, we actually changed the search API to Firecrawl because it's a free way for agents to search a web, and we got the API there. And then it can create research reports as well. And what it actually does is it plugs it into our memory system over here. So if we go to our recent memories, you can see that scheduled task. We triggered it early just to show you what it looks like. That scheduled task, which you can see over here, is now plugged into our Obsidian memory. So if I ask my Hermes agent about this particular research report, or if I ask it for social media content, it's automatically going to take the notes from the scheduled task, pull it into Hermes agent, and then we can use that for content or for ideas and that sort of thing, which is pretty amazing in itself. And then you can run more if you want to. So if you go back into Hermes here, you can take more blueprints from news research and plug them into Hermes to automate and build whatever you want, which is pretty amazing. And so this was just a really powerful way of how you could automate research, but you could do this for any of this stuff. I mean, there's so much different blueprints inside here. I'm sure they're going to expand it as well. So for example, you've got the nightly backlog triage of tasks to be done. If you're a coder, automatic PR code reviews. You have the docs drift detection system. There's also an audit here, which looks super useful. You got DevOps monitoring. So every single use case you can think of, you've got over here, and you can actually navigate on the right-hand side and find stuff. So for example, they have multi-skill workflows, which combine multiple different skills together. You have business operations stuff. You have GitHub event automations, quick reference stuff. I mean, what you can actually do is actually give the documentation to Hermes and say, hey, based on my current scheduled tasks, turn these into automation workflow blueprints, and then you could give those tasks to someone else, right? So pretty amazing stuff. And I call this the Goldie Hermes automation engine because before, let's say, for example, you were doing research. Well, you might spend an hour every morning doing that forever. Whereas with this new setup, you can take the blueprint from Hermes, you can plug that into Hermes agent, and then it's 30 minutes to set up once, and you've got a research agent forever. And actually, you can use it for free because Firecrawl is free, GitHub is free, Hermes agent is free, and also the API is free as well. So it's all free as this update. Some people say it's not. Yes, it is. I mean, every element of this you can do for free. And you might say, well, okay, this sounds like a lot of work, but actually the opposite is true because you just copy and paste the blueprint, so you're good to go. And then every step is good to go. Now, for the actual research blueprint that we used, how it works is you connect the research tools, so Firecrawl and GitHub. Then you've got one script that does the monitoring. Hermes will schedule it as a blueprint using the automation blueprint documentation here. From there, it lands in your agent operating system inside the memory tab. Right? So for example, here, we'll have it inside the memory tab over here, and we can see all of our recent memories and what we've created recently, which is super powerful and useful to come back to. And it's going to run on schedule weekly. So this is running in the background whenever we need it. And if we need to trigger it manually, we can say, okay, just do this manually as well. And again, you might say, well, I'm not technical enough to wire all this. You don't have to wire it by hand. That's the whole blueprints update, right? You tell Hermes what you want in plain English, it goes off and it builds the job. Now, you could use the same sort of system on different jobs. You could actually, for example, use that research blueprint and use it for monitoring your competitors, for coming up with ideas for content, for monitoring your competitors' rankings for SEO, for example, or even like a mention monitor. You can customize these blueprints as much as you want to. And so if you do any kind of research or any of the use cases on that news research page, this is going to be useful and powerful for you because you don't have to design it yourself. And also if it's designed by one of the best AI labs in the world, aka News Research, then usually that's going to be pretty reliable. And the cool thing is it's a one-time setup, which is pretty simple and easy. And so what you learned today is how to use automation blueprints with Hermes. You learned how to basically connect your agent to all these different APIs so that you don't have to do any of the work. Hermes just goes off and does it for you. You also learned how to stop losing things, because everything that you do with these scheduled tasks, you should be logging inside your Obsidian memory so that you can come back to it whenever you want. I mean, we have a full galaxy here where we can monitor everything that we've built, we've created, and we can see it all right there, which is pretty amazing. And we can come back to it inside our agent operating system. And then also, you got your mornings back because you save time with all of these different automations that you get. So that's basically the whole setup, how to use it, the new automation blueprint system, how it works, etc. And it's super easy to do. This is a great update. I've seen Hermes come out with just so many cool updates right here, so it's pretty amazing. And you can see how it works as a diagram right here. So thanks so much for watching. If you want this whole setup, I mean, you could build it yourself, the agent operating system. If you want the system from me, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You get the Obsidian memory setup, you get the memory galaxy with Obsidian, you get the section where you can manage all your agents and your profiles in one place, and you get the agent operating system with a video tutorial on how you set it up. And we also add new daily updates, as you can see right here. And then anything useful that comes out, like for example, recently we built out a Hermes idea factory, and you can get it right here. If you want to build teams with AI agents, including Hermes, Claude, etc., well, we have a video tutorial and we have that built into the agent operating system too. And then you can ask questions inside the community, get help and support whenever you want to. Inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. We have a map where you can meet people in your local area who are using AI agents like you. And this is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link it in the comments description, or go to the aiprofitboardroom.com to get access. Thanks for watching. Techno City says, as far as programming goes, I find open code far more useful, but everything else, Hermes might go to. Yeah, I would agree. Like it's pretty good for all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, that's a beautiful thing about it. But I would agree. Like for me personally, if I'm coding like the actual agent operating system out, I'll use Claude. But then for everything else, we're using Hermes agent, the agent operating system. Can you manage goals, to do, calendar, etc.? Yeah, you can. So for reminders, you can set up schedules. For goals, you can give those to your agents, or you can plug that inside the Obsidian memory. And then for the to-do list, we used to have like I'll show you what we have. So we have this pipeline here where you can basically plug in an idea, and then this is like an agent-driven to-do list where you can build stuff out, and all you have to do is approve it. So that's what we have. And then when it comes to reminders, yes, you can set up the scheduled tasks. When it comes to goals, we used to have a goal section inside here, but honestly, it wasn't that useful. But you could always build that in, or you could add it to the mission control dashboard, and that would take like 2 seconds. We had it before, and I didn't use it, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna have stuff inside there that the people don't use, or I don't personally use. That wouldn't feel right. Today, I'm going to show you a powerful system that we use for Claude AI SEO so that we can come up with amazing ideas for content and then actually automate the content itself. Something I call the Goldie Demand Engine that you can use for AI SEO so that you can quickly find content to create based on what's working for you. And so basically what we've set up inside Claude is a new system where we can take the API from our Google Workspace that is connected to our Google Search Console, it can then look across my portfolio of websites, see what's actually working, break down the keywords in terms of what's working by website. So you can see the website mapped out here, how many impressions and clicks it got, and then it's broken down into a beautiful table of our top keywords, and then it actually shows us the best opportunities to rank for. So if we have a look, for example, it looks at this website, it's like, right, based on this website, here's the keywords you're currently ranking for. Based on that, here's the biggest opportunities to rank or to re-optimize. So it actually takes a look at your existing content as well and tells you what to create or what to come up with. And then from here, we have it broken down by website, right? So for example, as we keep scrolling down here, we can see that we have the keywords for each website and we can easily find new opportunities. Now, some people are going to say that SEO doesn't work anymore, but you can see, for example, for these 3 different websites that we just created a couple of months ago, they're all moving in the same direction, which is their trajectory is improving. They're getting more traffic. I mean, this website right here, look at this. It's gone from 2 clicks a day all the way up to 76 clicks a day. If we look at this website, it's gone from pretty much 1 click a day all the way up to 200 clicks a day and above. And so it's quite easy to get your websites ranking if you have the right keyword strategy in place. And the great thing is, if you were manually looking through all of your keywords or looking where you can rank, etc., well, that would be a lot of work. Whereas, for example, if you can automate it using Claude and just give it your details in terms of what to rank for, then it can go from there. Now, you might be wondering, okay, how do we set this up? How do we create it, etc.? So basically what we did is we plugged in our details from Google Workspace. We create a Google Workspace account. Then you're going to add the email address for your Google Workspace into Google Search Console. And from there, it can pull in the data from your existing Google Search Console. Okay? And so you can use the API from Google Workspace, plug that into Claude. Claude can make sure that you're added to each of the relevant Google Search Console accounts, and then it can pull in the keyword data. And this is super powerful for just, number one, re-optimizing your existing content and also coming up with new ideas. Now, once we've handled the keyword research section, you might be saying, okay, well, how do you actually create the content? How do you get that deployed? Because you don't want to be logging into WordPress and then creating the content yourself and blah, blah, blah. The way that I've set it up personally is I have it inside the agent operating system. So if we go over here, for example, and then we go to the SEO section, you can see that we can add a keyword based on what Claude recommends for our keyword research, which is based on actual data, and then we can plug that into our system and deploy it. So for example, if we have a target keyword that Claude is recommending, let's have a look down here and see what we've got. So this might be a good one to go for. Or for example, if we keep scrolling down, let's have a look for new keyword opportunities. This one could be a good one as well. Well, if we wanted to go for that, we would just plug in the keyword here. And then what's very important here is that you add information right? You want to add something new to your workflow for SEO so that when you're creating the content, it's not just generic fluff, it's adding your first person experience, right? It's adding actual data, something relevant. So the way that I do this is I find a case study that I've already created for SEO, and then we plug that into our system. So how do I do that? Well, basically what I'll do here is, as you can see, we can pull in a relevant case study for this particular topic. So for example here, if the topic is agentic OS mission control, well, we can find something relevant to that we can plug in here, right? And here's an example. So we can take that example here. We can plug that in like so. And then we can get the full case study, which we've got over here. Perfect. And then we're going to go back to this section here and we add in the case study. And you can also save and reuse that later if you want to. And then we can click generate 5 articles. From there, it's going to start generating the content for our websites and deploying it to our websites too, which is pretty cool. You could also do the same thing inside Claude Code as well if you wanted to. I just find like it's much more chill to do it this way. So I'll show you how it works if you wanted to go directly to Claude Code directly like this. And we can deploy it that way too. So we give it the keyword, we give it the case study, and then it can just go off and implement everything for us. And that's basically what we're doing for these websites. I think that's why they're growing so much, because, these are websites that are actually ranking for keywords simply because they've got useful information inside them. Now, if you're wondering, okay, like what does that look like in practice? So if we have a look at this keyword, for example, you can see that we are ranking over here, and also we are ranking over here, right? And so we're ranking in two places for that particular keyword. We're also ranking here and here. And then also with our website, we are ranking as well. Right? And so we can rank multiple times for the same keyword using this method. And so the other cool thing is that it deploys to our other websites. We can build out a portfolio of websites targeting a similar keyword, and then we can tackle the case study itself from different angles. And so if you look at this snapshot here of the whole process, it's basically like you look at which websites are performing the best, you find out the keywords that are working for them, then from there, you're going to find the biggest opportunity, which you can see. And Claude does this all for you automatically. And then you don't need to guess at what SEO keywords are relevant for you. And also you look at what's already working for you, and then you reverse engineer it so that you can find new opportunities. And that's basically the system that we are using right here. And so the agent finds and ranks all the keywords that I should go for, as you can see. And then it sorts all of those keywords into what sort of intent they are, so informational or commercial. From there, we can plug in the keyword and create 5 articles. And from there, the agents can actually pick up the work and do the work as well. So let me show you another example of this. When we actually create the content, like we've done with the SEO pipeline over here, we can also use the Kanban system, right? So if we go over to the Kanban system here, we've got a separate Kanban board, AI powered, for our AI agents that creates content and deploys it directly. So if you look, we've got the Hermes SEO writer that creates and writes the content. We've got the link builder that can add internal links. We have the SEO keywords profile for generating SEO keywords. And you can see what they've done, what the history is, where they stored the markdown files, and then finally, of course, you get the page that was deployed with SEO. So it's a really powerful way to make sure that you're ranking your websites and you're getting results. And this is just based on what's working for me. I've actually tested this stuff. I don't see a lot of people sharing their actual case studies or the websites that they're using, but you can see that we're fully transparent with what we're doing because I just want to show you that it actually works. And then the cool thing about this is we have one dashboard that runs every agent at once. And also if you need more keywords, you can actually go to the AI agent group chat over here. You can see our different history. And when we're coming up with keywords, so for example like this, and we say, hey, Claude, what's the good SEO keyword research tool we could build? It comes up with ideas, and then it'll plug it into our idea pipeline. So if we're creating SEO tools as well, we can plug this into the system too. But either way, it's very, very powerful for AI SEO. And so, the old way is like picking up keywords, kind of guessing. You might open up a keyword tool and then sort by volume, etc. But that's not really relevant to you and your website, right? You really want to look at what's actually working for you, what's relevant to you. And you can't do that in any other way apart from looking at your SEO keyword research, really. And then the problem is like people write a post for a keyword they had nothing ranking for already, and they just watch it not work. And you lose time doing that. Whereas, for example, now we can have, we could set up our agent every Monday to find the keywords to rank for next. We don't need to guess. The agent OS can write and deploy 5 articles. And then also on the next round, we've got more and more research and keywords from this whole system, which is super powerful when you think about it. And so you might say, well, okay, isn't it like pretty difficult to set up an agent operating system? You can see, for example, Paul crushed it with AI SEO here. You can see as well that Vaish Navi also created an amazing AI mission control system. You got Mike as well. So there's so many people winning with this stuff that I know that if they can do it and I can do it, then you can definitely do it too as well. And again, like the old way was opening up keyword research tools, having subscriptions to Ahrefs and SEMrush. I don't use those for keyword research anymore. I just use my AI agent with a search console instead. You could guess which keywords to rank for, but why not just find the ones you already half rank for and then try and re-optimize those, or go for similar keywords that where you create a new page. And that way you're just going after much easier keywords. Because with the old way, you get generic posts, generic keywords, and you waste a lot of time. With the new way, with this system, you find the right topic, it's based on actual data, and it's actually working, as you can see right here. And this is something that we're just refining and improving on all the time. Now, you might say, okay, well, I already use Ahrefs and SEMrush, but those tools show you what everyone else sees, right? They're estimated volumes of keywords for the whole internet. And bear in mind, like a lot of those estimated traffic volumes are usually off. Whereas with this system, you're using an intelligent AI agent, the best model in the world, which is Claude. It reads the data from Google and Google Search Console, and then you have different data that nobody else has, and so you're not competing for keywords everyone else is going for. You're going after your own keywords, which is pretty powerful when you think about it as well. And so you get different patterns as well, so you can see which ones to re-optimize, and then also which ones you could start writing new content for as well when you have this system. And then in the end, you've got 5 different articles ready to go. You can see an example right here of the SEO content pipeline. So one keyword becomes 5 finished articles that are all unique on different websites, which means that you have 5 different opportunities to rank, which is going to save you a lot of time yourself. And also, I don't have to log into WordPress to do this. Like, this is doing it all in the background for me. And when it's deployed, it's good to go. When it's deployed, it's like, okay, perfect. We've got that ready to go in the background. I don't have to go to WordPress or anything like that. It's all good to go. So that's basically the system. That's how to use it, how to set it up with Google Search Console, why it's so powerful, how it's unique from what everyone else is doing, and how to use Claude to help you save time and automate it. And then also, once you've got the keyword, how to deploy it to your website. And I've also shown you 2 different case studies of this stuff actually working, which is perfect. So if you want the keyword agent and the SEO pipeline from me ready built, you can get that, everything I've just shown you, the keyword research agent, the SEO content pipeline, the Kanban, the shared memory, that all lives inside my agent operating system, which is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. If you want a free course on how to do SEO, we've actually got that link in the description. If you want to get this, it's actually got 260 lessons. But if you want the system, it's inside here, and just go to the classroom and then go to the Agent OS section. And we update it daily with a video tutorial, and we have a zip file that you can just quickly install to get that set up. And then we add new daily tutorials based on what's working and coming out. Now, inside the community, you can ask questions, get help and support. Inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. You can meet people in your local area who are using AI agents like you. And this is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And also, if you want a free one-to-one SEO strategy session where we look at your site, we show you how to rank, we give you advice based on what's working for us and what we've actually tested, then you can get that on this strategy session. And basically, we'll give you a free SEO domination plan. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. You'll get your questions answered, so you can ask questions on the call and get help and support then too. You can learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to outrank your competitors with link building. So feel free to get that link in the comments description, or go to goldie.agency. Thanks for watching. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's it. I mean, like, the great thing about having this set up with the SEO pipelines is, like, you can quickly go from idea to implemented with that SEO pipeline we were talking about before. If someone's watching this and you're not sure what we're talking about, so inside here we have the pipeline, and then you can quickly shape it, approve it, and then just get it implemented. And that's the best thing about this system. Good advice there. Thank you. That's a good question. Let me check. That would be pretty useful. I wonder if we have that already. I think we can set that up. You can do that with Hermes already. But it'd be interesting to see that done for everything else. Let's set that up now. There's a brand new free API you can plug into Hermes Agent. You can see some stuff that we've built with it today. And this was all powered by something called Nex N2 Pro, which is a new free model. It's actually built on the Qwen 3.5 architecture, and you can grab this free API and then plug it into Hermes Agent. So for example, if we go to N2, which is a separate agent profile I've just built for the N2 API with Hermes agent. We can use it and we can use this API for free. So how do you set it up and what are the benefits? So basically, if you want to set this up quickly, you can just go to manage, go to models, then you're going to change the model on here. So you just go to change. And the benefit of this, of course, is that you get a free API. So you can use the most powerful agent in the world, but you can use it for free on this API. So you just go to Open Router from here, and then just make sure that you are using the free API, which is N2. And you can see the details of the model right here. Now, again, this is called N2 free, so that's the model you want to use. If you want to see the model weights, you can see they're available on Hugging Face right here. Now, this is designed as an agentic model with agentic thinking, which is why it's great for Hermes, which is an AI agent. And so this is basically a really powerful way to use a free model with a Hermes agent, and it can build some pretty cool stuff, which I'll show you in a second. What we've actually done is if we go to our Hermes profiles, for example, we've set up a separate profile for using N2. So if we scroll down here, and this is a cool way to use it because you can easily switch between APIs based on the agent profile for Hermes. So for example, we have one which is using Step 3.7 Flash as a free API, and that's another free model on News Portal. But then we have N2, which you can see right here, and this is using the N2 model. And so you can have different profiles switching between different APIs, and then we can chat between each of these agents, as you can see right here, which is pretty amazing in itself. Now, the other cool thing about this as well is like if you're trying to create sub-agents, you could use the free Kanban board from Hermes agent, and then you could have one profile, which we've got here for N2, and then one profile with a normal API, and you could switch between them and they can delegate tasks. So you can plug in a task over here, it will triage it, and then move across to the to-do list using the different profiles, and it will assign tasks and delegate tasks to different profiles. Now, is this all perfect? I wouldn't say so because, of course, you know, if you look at the context, it's 262K, which is good, but it's not as high as, for example, like Claude. And I wouldn't expect Claude level outputs or like Fable 5 level outputs on this model, but is it good for agentic tasks? Is it good for sub-agents? Is it good for getting basic things done, which, you know, most people are wanting? Then yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so this is an agentic mixture of experts model from Next AGI, 17 billion parameters out of 397 billion parameters total. Built on Qwen 3.5 architecture, it accepts text and image inputs as well, which is pretty cool. And it's also used and designed for coding, tool use, deep research, and long horizon agentic workflows. Now, what that actually means is like, for example, if you wanted to do long horizon on this, is you could actually go to the goal mode inside Hermes agent, and then you could give it a task and you can just go off and work on that task for hours latency with these previous projects. So for example, if you had something big like building out a website, you could do that. And so we added this brand new agent to Hermes N2, and it reasons like a top model. It codes, it builds, it's free, and it's free through Open Router. And you can summon it as a profile, which is what we like as well. So that means you can just quickly switch to N2 if you're like, oh, do you know what? I want to use this API as my main Hermes one, but then I want to switch to this agent profile over here for N2. Perfect. That's how it can work. And so if you want to see a couple of examples of what we built here, you can see an example like this, right? You can build some crazy stuff like super visual stuff. I mean, you could use it for coding and that sort of thing as well. And so let's talk about how this system works. So number one, it's a profile. So we can just talk to it in one tap. How do we do that? Go to Hermes and then just click on it. Every chat has its own memory as well. And the good thing about that is it's logged inside your Obsidian memory vault. So what that means essentially is like everything that you do with N2, you can see it inside your memories over here, which is pretty cool. Additionally, everything lands in one folder that it builds. So if we go to the workspace here, we can see stuff that were built with N2 like this. And again, like you can just have it stored in one folder, which I like to keep organized, because if we were using, for example, Hermes desktop or the terminal, it'd be pretty hard to keep that in one single place, whereas we can have it inside one workspace. So I definitely recommend setting up an agent operating system like that for yourself. And additionally, it's free to use, which is great as well. Now, some people say 3 models a week, but all the stuff I've shown you today, it was built for free with N2. And bear in mind, like, it's designed for agentic tasks. And so the great thing is, before we were using tokens and we were limited by that. Now we have a next gen reasoning agent that's totally free and we can talk to it like an employee. Bear in mind as well, like, you might be saying, okay, that's great for you, Julian, like you set this up, but what about us? I've seen so many people winning with Hermes agent and agent operating systems and this sort of stuff, as you can see from all these testimonials inside their profit boardroom, that I know if they can do it and we can all do it, then you can do it too, right? So, this is something anybody can set up, really. So the old way is, using tokens for every answer, being locked into expensive models. If a new model comes in as well, usually you have to rewire your whole setup. But with Hermes Agent, the benefit is that you can have separate profiles linked to different API models. And then also, the old way was re-explaining context every session and then outputs being scattered across folders you lose. With this new setup, we can summon N2 as a free Hermes profile. We have a next gen reasoning brain for free. We can swap or add models without touching the stack. We have per profile memory, and those pull in and log their conversations to Obsidian, so everything is shared across all our agents, and everything we build lands in the N2 folder, so it's easy to come back to and think, oh, okay, like, what did we build with that? Is it useful? Is it not? Etc. Right? And so that's essentially what we've built right here, which is pretty cool. Now, also, something else that we did is we actually plugged in hyperframes as a skill, and then it built this video showcasing what it actually created, right? So it can actually be used as a video agent, even if you wanted to as well, which is also an amazing use case for using AI agents. So how does this work? Well, you just tap it and talk. You can ask it to build stuff. You can open the N2 folder once it's done. And the great thing about this is, with AI agents now, some people say, well, I'm not technical, but if you can click a name in a list and send a message to a friend, you can do this, right? There's no setup, there's no terminal of this. You can just add the profiles and then it's good to go from there, right? And so in terms of what you learned how to get free API, you learned how to set up in one click, you learned how to stop re-explaining everything by having Obsidian set up with your Hermes agent, and you learned how to stop losing work as well, which is pretty amazing. Now, if you want N2 set up as a system that runs your day just like we've got it set up, then you can grab that inside the agent operating system from the AI profit board. It turns Claude, OpenClaw, Hermes, and free brains like N2 into one system with shared memory, shared context, and one dashboard. So every new model you add makes the whole thing more powerful. And so if you want to get that and this whole system, as you can see, along with that, we've also got the chat. We've got a live talk section here. You've got Hermes Jarvis, where you can voice activate Hermes agent. You've got image, voice, and video studio. We have a video agent down here as well. That's pretty cool. And then also you have the full workspace where you can see everything you've built and come back to it later as well, which is super useful. Plus you can add your own MCPs, manage everything in one place, super powerful stuff. So if you want to get my full setup, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And inside this community, we're just focused on one thing, which is helping you learn, grow, and scale with AI automation so that you can get the most out of this stuff, right? Now, inside the classroom, you get access to all of my best lessons, as you can see right here. Inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. We have 4 weekly coaching calls where you can get help and support in real time. Inside the map, you can now meet people in your local area who are using AI agents like Hermes and OpenClaw and Claude, just like you, and you can connect with me personally. So hope to see you inside there. Link in the comments description, or just go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Today, I'm going to use a powerful way and show you exactly how to use Claude Code for free with a powerful brain called N2. Now, this is a new API that just dropped. It's agentic. It's an agentic mixture of experts model. And you can see some of the cool stuff it built. I actually created this video, plus all the stuff inside it. It coded itself. I'm going to show you exactly how to use this for free with Claude Code. And even with this free Claude Code setup, you can actually voice operate it and then preview what you've created. So let me show you exactly how this works today. And if you're wondering what is N2, this is a new API that just dropped. It's based on Qwen 3.5 architecture, and it can be used with text and images. And it's designed for coding, for tool use, for deep research, for long horizon agentic workflows, code implementation, and you can get it on OpenRouter. It's 262K as context window, and it's free to use as an API, right? Now, if you are doing, okay, how does this work? How does this get set up, etc.? So we are using an open source project. It's called a free Claude Code to build this. And what this allows you to do is use Claude Code, but you plug in free APIs. In a similar way to how, for example, Olama plugs into Claude Code for free, you can also set this up with OpenRouter and any other API that you want, right? So, for example, if we go over to our agentic operating system and we go to free Claude Code down here, you can see that we've got this agent factory and we can voice control it to build cool stuff out. So for example, this was actually built with N2, which is pretty insane when you think about it. Here's another example of what we created with N2. And you can see some other stuff that we built over here using this setup. And so the cool thing about this is, number one, we can create stuff using N2. We can also type in what we want, or we can voice activate it. So if we go inside here and we, just as a very basic example, we say, create a to-do list app. You can see that it takes my prompt like so and so, it's voice activated. And then what it's doing is it's building with Next N2 Pro, which is the free API we've plugged into free Claude Code. And so it's using the power of Claude Code's harness, but with a free API. Now, a couple of things I want to say here. So I just want to be 100% honest with you. Number one, even though it's free, does it mean like it's unlimited? It seems to get token limited sometimes. So just something to be aware of. It's like if it stops working, sometimes that's because it's restricted in terms of like how much you can actually use it if you're absolutely rinsing it, for example. And then number two, is it as powerful as just using Claude directly with Fable 5, for example? No, of course not, right? But at the same time, you can build and automate almost anything that you want. It's designed for coding, and it works pretty nicely, as you can see today. And so this is building out. The other thing as well is that you can teach it skills. So you can give, for example, free Claude Code skills in the same way you give Claude Code skills, for example, like hyperframes. And with something like hyperframes, you can teach it to create videos, as you can see right here. And so if we go back to this demo, which we've got like so, we've actually created that using free Claude Code and N2 too. So it's pretty powerful in so many different ways, and it's quite easy to use as well. Now, what I call this is the Goldie Voice Factory with free Claude Code plugged in. And so basically, we can wire a new free brain into free Claude Code. And then if I tap my mic, say one sentence, we can build something, as you can see right here. And so if you look at this, like it's super visual, it's pretty cool. Just as a fun little visual I wanted to create as a demo for this. Same with this, right? It's just like a cool little visual that you can build and code out with free Claude Code. And what's cool about this is a free brain that builds what you say, right? So you can speak an idea into it, and then you can use N2 to build this stuff out. The other thing that you could do is you could go directly to OpenRouter, or you could use this model in, for example, like Hermes agent. So for example, we've actually used the same model and then plugged it into Hermes agent. As you can see right here, we said, are you working? And it's working, right? If we say, okay, what API are you using? Just to test it's actually working, we can go back and forth inside the chat here. We'll come back to that in a second. Now, you might also be wondering, okay, and you can see here it's responded to us in a few seconds, which is cool. So it's actually not too bad in terms of replying inside agentic harnesses. And then also if we go to the models and we type in N2 like this, and we check out this model, we can see which apps it's being used with the most. And you can see since it came out on June the 8th, it's already been used the most with Claude Code and Hermes Agent. So a lot of people are using this agentically with these models like Hermes Agent and Claude Code. And so there's no reason that you can't do that too. And Pi as well is a really popular OpenClaw alternative. Well, it's actually what OpenClaw was built on that you could plug this into as well, which is pretty amazing in itself. So you can see as well, Kilo Code could be another option for coding this out. But you can get this free brain and then plug it into whatever you want, which is amazing in itself. So the cool thing about this system, if you go back to free Claude Code here, is we've got one toggle. We can speak to it and watch it build live. Every voice build is saved inside our workspace, which we've got over here and also over here. You know, for example, we've built out like this habit tracker, this meditation app, etc., using this powerful system. And then also, you know, some people say, well, you can't build anything real with a free model, but you've already seen Hermes, for example, working with this. And you've seen some of the stuff we built out with free Claude Code as well. Now, also what you could do with this would be pretty interesting, is that you could actually plug it into a pipeline system like this. We have an agent-powered idea factory. We actually use Hermes for this, and you can basically take an idea for an app, drop it into this system, shape it, approve it, and then build it out like you can see here. So this is actually how we built out the habit tracker and the meditation timer, as you can see. And so you could actually plug it into a system like this where you go from like idea to implementation very, very quickly because you've got that free model ready to go whenever you need it. Also, like before, you know, people were hiring devs or a whole team to code, but now you can just use N2 to build the whole app as well. Other people will say like, I'm not a coder, but that's the whole point, right? You don't write a line. You just say a sentence, N2 writes the code, and you just watch it run, which is the power of this stuff. And it works really simply. It's just like you flip the engine to N2. As you can see, then you tap the mic and speak, which you can do over here. And then you find it inside your workspace, like you can see. Now, you might say, okay, you know, should you build this out today? I think if you've had an idea that you want to code out, or for example, you're limited and you don't want to, for example, subscribe to Claude, or yeah, you could do this. You know, it's just one spoken sentence. It's free to test out. You can just try it, see if you like it. And also building with voice as well is pretty fun. You can type in the prompt that you have if you want instead. But if you just want to use your voice, you can too. So here's what you learned today. You learned how to stop coding and just say a sentence and N2 writes it. You learned how to use Claude Code for free and how to build with your voice as well. You learned how to stop waiting because you can plug this into an idea factory like this and build out any idea on the spot. And you also stop losing ideas because you have everything plugged in one place where you can see it all ready to go inside your workspace and you can just come back to it later. So if you want to get this whole setup, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Or you can just get, you know, you could go straight to the open source project and just set it up yourself. If you want to get my setup, it's inside the Profit Boardroom, and you can just say an idea, watch it build, and get set up from there. Okay? So you can turn every idea into a live app now just by talking. And if you want to grab the agent operating system where it turns Claude, OpenClaw, Hermes, and free brains like N2 into one system with shared memory, one dashboard, you can grab that. The other cool thing as well about this is like it's all going to be set up inside our memory system here. So if we go inside this section anything that we've done recently is logged directly into this section. So, for example, when we were speaking to N2, you can see that it's got the conversation automatically set up so that we've got a memory galaxy. We can come back to our memories and we can see everything in one place. And that's great as well, because then any other agent that you plug N2 into, they're all sort of collaborating and sharing the same memory, which is mind-blowing in itself. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the full build, it's all inside my amazing community that helps you save time, learn and grow with AI automation. Inside the community, you can ask questions, get help and support in real time. Inside the classroom, you can see all my best trainings, including the Agent OS system, which we've got over here. And you basically get a video tutorial. You can see it was last updated today. We update it daily, and you get a zip file for installing it. And then you get access to all of my best trainings, as you can see. So we add new daily updates to this too. Inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls, ask questions, share your screen, meet other community members. Inside the map, you can actually meet people in your local area who are building with AI agents just like you, as you can see. And this is all available inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the aiprofitboardroom.com. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye. Let's see what questions we got here. When looking at memory, can you filter memory and Obsidian to agents or projects? Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, if you go to the memory section here, you can go to recent and you can search your memories, right? So if we type in, for example, keyword like that, we can see all of our keyword related research and projects, which is pretty amazing in itself. How do you use Kanban versus paperclip? Why would you use both? So you would only use paperclip if you have multiple different agents and you want something visual and complex. If you want something simple and easy and you're just using Hermes, then you would use Kanban. If you do client SEO through Hermes, you keep, I've already answered this one actually, but you would keep everything organized in separate folders for each client, right? So that's a way to do it. So just like you have separate memories and they're all linked together, you would have separate project folders for each of your clients. In the same way that, for example, I have separate memories for Goldie Agency versus everything else. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.